Hey, it's Nathan with optionsforl.com. In this video, I want to go over my options activity for the week, and then I want to take a look at my open positions, see if there's anything I need to be concerned about or I might adjust going into next week, and then kind of plan out what we're going to do next week. So just want to give you an inside view of my particular trading account. So I'm using the Options4L options tracking tool. You can find it at tool.optionsforl.com, or you can just go to optionsforl.com, and this is where I track all of my options, and you can track yours here too. But anyway, I want to go ahead and change the time period because I want to look at what happened this particular week right here. And so we can see an overview of my account for the week. My realized P&L was $18.80, and we'll dive into some more details in just a second. I opened one position, and I also had a 100% win rate this week. So exciting stuff. Let's move on down here, as I'm mainly focused on the positions that changed this week. So let's start with the positions that closed this week because that's what I care about. That's when I actually lock in and realize my profits. And we can see that I had an IBIT covered call that closed this past Friday, and I realized $1,880.14 on this particular position. Now this was part of a roll, so I need to account for when I rolled my options where I had to go ahead and buy back one position while I rolled it to another position. So realistically, while I made $1,800 on this one position, after rolling I only made $1,042.51. So that's what I actually realized, and we can go ahead and click into my position right here and get some more details. And I want to just come down here to my roll chain activity. That's where I want to focus my attention. So we can see that my initial position right here, I opened it for a $474 credit, but then I had to buy it back and close it out when I rolled it for about $1,300. So in that process, I realized about $837 loss, but I rolled to another position with a further out expiration date and a higher strike price. And I rolled it for the $1,880 that I realized this week. So you take into account what I realized this week minus what I realized previously, and that's how we get to the $1,042.51 that I actually realized after rolling my options out. So that's all I'm actually going to record. Now let me close this out. Now also the good thing is I was able to close out this position. So next week I'm going to open another covered call strategy using these 19 contracts, and I'll start the process up again. And I'll probably open these trades on Monday morning, usually around 10:30, after the market opens up and some of the weekend volatility has died down. So that's a trade I'm looking to put on next week, a covered call on IBIT for 19 contracts. Let's go ahead and close that out and look at the positions that I opened this week. So I've been opening a Iron Condor every week on the SPY ETF with an expiration about 40 days out, with my goal to generate about $400 a week consistently. So let me open up this trade real quick and we can take a look at it. And actually, let me go ahead and turn on live pricing real quick. Let's get live prices and take a look at my Iron Condor with the live prices and the Greeks and all that good stuff. So we'll open that up now. So I opened this Iron Condor on December 8th, so Monday of this week. My net P&L, so the credit that I received, was $446. Currently, I'm sitting at $127.22. So I could go ahead and close this trade out right now for $319 and basically net $127, but I'm shooting for the $446, so I'm going to let it ride for another week. But it's nice to see my Iron Condor already in the green. Now let me scroll down to my option legs. So here's my long put and my short put down here, and my long call and my short call right down here. We'll keep an eye on this position and see if we need to adjust it at any point in the future, but right now we're right on track. So that's pretty exciting. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and let's go look at the open positions real quick to see if I have anything that's coming up this week that I should pay attention to or that might close out. So this upcoming week I have two positions that are set to expire on Friday, December 19th. I have a covered call IBIT position, and I also have an Iron Condor position set to expire. And let me go ahead and click into the IBIT position real quick and take a look at what's going on here. Let me come down to my option legs and take a look at what's going on. So I have 18 contracts with a strike of $53.50. The current price of IBIT right now is $51.20. So I am currently sitting out of the money, so that's a good thing for a short position. My delta is currently sitting at 0.23, so that's pretty low risk right there. I'm basically just going to monitor this. If sometime during the week IBIT or Bitcoin pumps up a little bit, then I may need to go ahead and roll out and up. But right now I'm out of the money by about $2.30, so I got some wiggle room and I'm basically just gonna let it ride. So there's that position. my Iron Condor right here. Let's open that up. And this one's sitting nice and pretty right now. My total potential profit and loss is $467.50. Right now, I'm sitting at $448, so I got $19.50 more that I can squeeze out of this particular position, or I could go ahead and close this position. And I currently have a limit order in where it would close for about $10. So unless something crazy happens in the stock market next week, I should be able to close out this position, and that would be nice. And I'll just monitor it during the week, but right now it's looking pretty good. Let me come on down here and see if there's anything else that catches my eyes on something that I might need to pay attention to. And what I'm primarily looking at right now is the delta. And since most of my trades in my account are for credit, I want a low delta. The low delta is basically an indicator of the stock option closing in the money, and I want a low percent chance of it closing in the money. I want it to close out of the money so that way I can keep all of my credit. So a small delta on a credit trade is a good indicator, and a high delta on a debit trade is usually a good indicator. So I'm just going to quickly look at these deltas. We already looked at this 0.23. It's fine. I need to kind of monitor that one in case Bitcoin or IBIT bounces some. We already looked at the Iron Condor, really small deltas right there. My next Iron Condor, also really small deltas, and I could maybe even close this one out early. I have about $50 more I could squeeze out of this trade, but if I wanted to, I could go ahead and close it out and net a pretty decent profit. Moving on down, pretty low deltas right down here, and I got a high delta. So this one is kind of concerning. Let's go ahead and open it real quick and see if maybe we need to take some action. Let me scroll on down to my position right now that I have. And this position right here is a cash secured put. I have a $56 strike price with a New Year's Eve expiration date on 10 contracts. And right now the price of IBIT is sitting at $51.20, which is $4.80 less than my strike price. So we are in the money, $4.80. So that's kind of risky right there. Somebody may decide to exercise their contract early, and I would have to buy 1,000 shares of IBIT at $56, even though the current market price is $51.20. So I've got some risk right here. Now the current extrinsic value is 33 cents, so that's still relatively high. The likelihood that somebody is going to exercise their option when there's still 33 cents of extrinsic value sitting out there is pretty low. But this is definitely something I need to monitor. If the extrinsic value goes down to maybe 15 cents or less than 20 cents, I might need to make some decisions on rolling this option out and down in order to get some more time and maybe some more premium. So this is one I need to monitor. I still have 17 days till expiration, so I do have some time. I got some extrinsic value still, but if it starts dropping, I'll need to make a decision. Now hopefully Bitcoin or IBIT, pop up and we're good to go, but right now this is definitely a risky position. Let me close back out of here, and this Iron Condor is looking okay. This one's looking okay right now. And so is this one down here. I have another cash secured put that I'm deep in the money on that I need to pay attention to. We still got some extrinsic value left. We got $1 of extrinsic value. So the likelihood someone's going to exercise that early is like pretty much zero. So not too worried about it yet, but we got 68 days. I'll need to keep monitoring this one as well. And again, hopefully IBIT pops up and all is right in the world. But if not, I'll have to roll out and down some. So that's what I'm looking at this week. Now, one last thing I want to do is come over to my analysis and see what AI thinks that I should pay attention to this week coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and generate a report. Now, while I'm waiting on this to run, I'm going to go ahead and do some chart analysis. So you can find this at chart.optionsforall.com, completely free. You don't have to log in or anything. I want to pick my target date, 19th of the month, and we'll go ahead and do SPY, and we'll generate our chart right here. So there's our chart, and then we'll have AI analyze the chart. Now you might think, hey, that chart looks a little funky, hard to read, etc. AI can see it just fine. Additionally, we're sending the actual numbers to AI, so it uses the chart, plus it uses the actual data numbers in order to conduct its analysis. So it's not just depending on its vision. But let's go ahead and see what AI thinks SPY is going to do in the next 6 days, and then I'll do the same thing for IBIT, and we'll see if we're looking bullish or bearish or where we might wind up. Let's come back over here and see if this finished, which it did. It provided us with a comprehensive options portfolio analysis, a bunch of different details. What I want to scroll down to and look at is what it's recommending me to do. So come on down here. Of course, you can read all this information and do with it what you will. This is not financial advice. It's for educational purposes only. All right, so suggested actions, urgent, next 7 days. That IBIT 5350 covered call with the expiration of Friday. Its recommendation is to let expire worthless, which is what we're going to try and do. And the SPY Iron Condor that's also expiring Friday, it's saying to let it expire for maximum profit, which is what we're planning to let happen. So that's cool that what I thought of doing matches what AI thinks I should do. So that's good to know. Then we have some high priority stuff going on in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We got the IBIT $56 cash secured put, which we examined. And it says that I need to go ahead and make a decision so I could take a loss, roll out and down, accept assignment. And its recommendation right now is roll to February with a $52 to $53 put if you're bullish on IBIT. Otherwise, take the loss. I am always bullish on IBIT and Bitcoin. I'm in my permabull, so no problems right there. And actually, let me head over to Robinhood real quick and see how much it would cost to roll out and down to a February date. So let me navigate to my position real quick, which was right here on December 31st. We had this 10 contracts. I'm going to go to the put side. And so here we are right here on our put. So we're right here, we are in the money and we're getting deeper and deeper in the money. So it's recommending that I roll this option out. So I need to go ahead and buy back my short position for $5.20. And then let's go ahead and go out to February sometime. We'll come out to February 20th right here. And we can go ahead and roll down to, let's say, $52. So roll on down to $52. And in this case, we're selling an option. So we'll select that right there. And we can see that I'm going to have to spend $100 to do that. Now, typically, I like to roll for a credit. So I might roll to, let's see, we're at 520 right there. Maybe I'll roll to 55. And so I can select that option right there. And so now I'm looking at a $73 credit. Now I do have 10 contracts available. So a $739.60 credit to roll out and down just $1, which isn't really a lot more wiggle room. However, it does give me a lot more time. So in a way, it does give me more wiggle room, but not pricing wise. So anyway, that's just something interesting to look at. I'm not going to take any action on it right now. Let's come over here. We have the IBIT $59 cash secured put. Also, we looked at it. I need to monitor it closely, reassess if IBIT fails to recover above $53 by January, and so on. So it's giving me like the same exact advice or thoughts of how I was going to treat my account. So that's good to see, confirmation on what I'm thinking and also what the almighty AI is thinking. Let me come back over to this chart analysis. So right now, it's saying that in the next 6 days, we're bearish. We're expecting about a 0.64% drop. So really, I consider that pretty dang neutral, which is absolutely perfect for the Iron Condor strategy. So that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and run a new analysis right now for IBIT, and we'll see what it estimates will happen there. There's my chart, and we'll go ahead and analyze that chart. And it's bearish on IBIT as well, so looking like next week maybe a down week for the market. But we're expecting about a 1.5% drop in IBIT, which isn't too good for my already deep in the money cash secured put, so I need to monitor those closely. But it does look pretty good for my covered calls. So there is some upside for me, even though overall we might be a little bearish. And so that's pretty much it. Hope you found this video interesting at least. And if you did, I appreciate it. So likes, comments, subscribes, and I hope you have a great week.